Hello all, this video is concerned with watering the courts at Frick Park. I mean, most folks know how to do it, and it's not really that counterintuitive as to how to do it. But I thought I would put a video out there just to kind of go through the basics. I'm going to include the original watering diagram that Jose left us, which is very nice in theory, but very difficult to, I think both John and I agree, is very difficult to carry out. And then the more practical way that John and I tend to water the courts. And I'm just going to kind of go through it step by step, how to turn the water on, how to turn the water off, how much to water the court, pointers to watch out for, just sort of a general guide. And again, none of this is religion. If you decide that, well, I want to do it a slightly different way, as long as it gets the job done, it doesn't really matter. So let's get started.
It is a reasonable question to ask. If you can't do all the courts at one time, you're like, well, which one should I do? What you want to look for is places where it's dusty, like you see here. Someone used a ball machine and it exposed like a 1/4 inch of dust on top. That needs watered. Here is some cracking, and here is other cracking. Those courts need done. When you want to use the water on a particular court, you have to first of all turn the water on at the main valve, which you'll see up at the top there, and secondly then turn on the secondary valve for the proper set of courts. So there's a valve for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. The first thing you'll need to do is turn the water on. The main valve is on the baseball side of the courts, about 1/3 of the way down from Braddock Avenue. The position you see now is the off position, and then turn it 90 degrees to turn it at the on position. And don't forget to turn the water off when you're done. It's very important. After turning on the main valve, you'll need to turn on the secondary valve. Those are located where I showed you before. Take that orange little doobie and flip it from one way to the other, and it'll turn the water. Take the hose and extend it as far as you need. Do not drag the hose across the court. You find that the hose does more damage than you expect. When you roll out the hose, you should probably look back to see if you've got any kinks or crossovers like you do here. I would suggest clearing those before you turn the water on to make it easier. Once the hose is in position and the water is turned on, there's 2 controls that you need to be concerned about. First is the on-off switch, and you can see me here, I'm using it, turning it on, turning it off. And then there's the flow control, which is the little orange ring on the outside. So from there, we'll start watering. Here was the original watering diagram left to us by Jose. It was very lovingly put together and very logically put together. The problem is it requires the hose to be dragged or held as you are across the court, which is sort of difficult to do. So we've decided not to use this method anymore. So here I am watering one side of the court. I'm using the heavy spray or the long spray to get the far edge, and I'm not letting the water pound any spot. I'm kind of like waving it around and letting the water droplets come across. Don't neglect outside of the doubles lines, because that's part of the court too, and the inner court will draw from water from there. So you want to make sure your watering overlaps it, and then what you can do is when that part's done, you open up the hose a little bit and reduce the flow or widen the flow, and then start going back and forth over closer areas. You want to take it to the point, if you're watering it just to water it, you don't want to leave a whole lot of puddles. Those will take quite a long time to dry, and usually someone's going to want to play on those fairly soon. So you want to try to wet the court down, make it change sort of a brown color. If there's a few puddles here and there, it's not a big deal. But the idea is to try to generally wet the court. Here's another example of me doing pretty much the same thing, a little bit better image or video. And you can see a little more elegantly this time, just kind of going back and forth. It's really It's kind of relaxing when you do it. And again, it's also not rocket science. It doesn't even really take that long. We're talking really at most 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more, 7 minutes to do one quart. And you see what I'm doing. I went with the heavy spray to get further out and then open it up a little bit. This is what I'm using right now is probably the ideal spray. It's kind of halfway, and you see him kind of turning the quart a little bit brown, not drenching it, just making it better. And as you see, sometimes when you move around, you're going to kink up the hose, and what happens is the water stops flowing. So you twist the hose around a little bit, and the water starts flowing again, and you just pick up where you left off. Don't neglect the backcourt. We play on the backcourt. Our feet are there almost all the time. And also that's the part of the court that gets the kind of the ground up the most, just because we're constantly, as players, going back and forth over that backcourt. So that's the area that's most likely to turn very dusty and need the most watering. Finally, you'll see me here working on the alley that was closest to me. I didn't want to blast it with water when I was standing over it, so I went to the backcourt just about when I was finished and kind of did a longer, more gentle spray of that area. The next part of the process is to recoil the hose back up, and what I'm doing here is illustrating that what you want to do is make concentric circles of the hose so that when someone pulls it out, it comes apart again very easily. And here we have an example of me doing that. The good part about this is you'll see that the hose does not often cooperate, and as long as it's closed, it's good enough. So here I am, I'm kind of like trying to form these little circles, and oh, that's nice, I got one, and I'm going to do two, and like, oh, not quite, yeah, I got it. Now we're going to do three, and the hose likes to kink up, and well, you know, kind of close. So we just keep kind of going around like that, and the idea is not to leave the hose, not to fold it up. Try to leave it in these concentric circles, and the better job you do, the easier it will be for the next person to continue on. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's not rocket science. Generally, if you're going near to water the quartz, you can get pairs of quartz with a single hose extension, so that's always a good thing to do. The idea is to turn on the water, uncoil the hose, do your watering, recoil the hose and turn the water back off. It's really important not to drag the hose across the cord, because if you do that, what you'll find is that you'll leave marks on the quartz that you really wish you hadn't done. It's not fatal, but it's like, if you're going to water it, you might as well not put a crease in it. So that's about it. And if you can, anytime you want to volunteer and do watering, it's never, never, never a bad thing. So thanks, and on to the next topic.